Very good afternoon and welcome to Racing International. We head down to KwaZulu-Natal today, racing at Scottsville on the inside track where we have 9 races. Let's have a look at the track and conditions. Well, the conditions should be all right, but just having a look there, penetrometer 23, false rail out 4.5 metres. Now up the straight, I can tell you 1,000 and 1,200 metres. I had a look at the stats this morning. It's quite alarming. The inside draws are certainly biased towards that side. But I tell you what, in a few of the races, I had to tip horses drawn out wide because, the other horses haven't got form. Can't tip bad horses. Doesn't matter even on the draw. But once you go around the turn, 14-16 obviously helps to have middle to inside draws. All right, let's get stuck straight into it. It's a maiden juvenile plate for the 2-year-olds over the 1,200 metres. And going to go for a first timer here. I see it's quite firm in the market from a very strong stable. Charlie led, well-bred individual, 2-year-old son of 7th Rock, who's certainly throwing the winners over here. Anton Marcus aboard and drawn okay in barrier 5. Currently priced up at 5-2. Now, don't leave out the 6s had a couple of runs under its belt and was well fancied 2 starts ago and actually ran a cracking race, only beaten a quarter of length and running into second. Now, this one's drawn nicely in barrier 2. Top jockey Anthony Delpesh aboard. I thought number 16, the King of Ransom, who put up a decent first up gallop when there was outside money for it, 20s into 12-1. So look for more improvement there. Was only beaten 3 1/4 when running into third. Now, what about number 5? This is from the Governor stable. Jacobson jumps aboard at 10-1. I thought this was a pretty reasonable price to put into your trifectas. Showed plenty of speed on debut over the 1,200 and only got run down late to be only beaten 3 lengths. I'm sure it will strip a lot fitter today. Race 2 on the card is the juvenile plate for over the 1,200 metres straight. For the fillies, this one, and number 14 is the one we're liking here, which is Secretariat's Girl, priced up at 7-2, MJ Bellefeld. Now, it's drawn horrendously on the outside, but it's got the form to win this race. It was backed on debut and it was on yielding going, and it actually put up a decent gallop there, only beaten 2 1/4. Going on the top today, I think it'll get a good run, but can it get across from the wide draw? Well, if it can't, certainly don't leave out number 2. This has got Sean Veal aboard, priced up at 7-2. Now, this wasn't fancied on debut. It drifted all the way out from 7s out to 16-1 and ran a cracker there, running on nicely, only beaten 3/4 of a length. Drawn nicely, this important, drawn well in barrier 4. Certainly number 1. This is from the Alistair Gordon stable. He said it will improve and he's expecting it to be in the first 3. Anthony Delpesh aboard, drawn nicely in barrier 3 and a decent price here at 10-1. All right, we had to find another one for you, and Tesla might be okay. I thought it was a decent gallop first time. How's this? It went off at 75-1. Can you believe that? And ran a cracking race, only beaten 1.25 lengths. Is drawn slightly wide in barrier 9. Race 3 on the card is up the straight of 1,000 metres. Another maiden plate. Number 10 is the one we're liking here. Rocky Valley. Anton Marcus, very short in the market now at 7-10. It put up a decent gallop when they backed it also into odds on when going off at 6-10 on that occasion. Was a little disappointing, but was reported green and hanging in. So look for big improvement there. Drawn in pole position in barrier 1. Number 2, Shoot the Bull at 10-1 with Muzieni aboard. Now, showed plenty of pace last time over the 1,200 metres and just got tired late. Now, they brought it back to the 1,000. I think it'll be better suited and is drawn also well in barrier 2. Number 12, Beauvoir, Paul Lafferty. Now, he said ignore its last run. It ran in a feature race there and it missed the start by 2 lengths. Everything went wrong, so he said put a line through it. Go back to its first start where it ran a decent race, only beaten just over 1/2 length when running into third. You're looking for one more? Well, certainly number 8, Burfie. Nice name, that. Claims the 2.5 off the back with the apprentice and now brings it in with only 55 kilos. I reckon it's a bit of value to pop into those trifectas. Form pretty decent in its last 3 outings and currently priced up at 5-1. Race 4 on the card is a Fillies and Mares 76 handicap up the straight of 1,000 metres. Well, this one certainly looks a very open race, and I'll tell you why, because some of the horses here aren't drawn the best. But the one I like here is number 3, Miss December, drawn okay in barrier 1. Bernard Fade Herd at 6-1. Now, this brings down the Johannesburg form. Hasn't been finishing too far behind him. I thought it was a pretty good effort last time when you consider it missed the start by a length over the 1,000 metres and ran on strongly to only go down 1 1/4 lengths. Now, coming down to KZN, I think it'll go pretty close here. Nice each way bet there at that price. Number 2, Ginger Biscuit, priced up also at a bit of value at 10-1, but is drawn on the outside in barrier 11. But gee, it's got strong form. 1, 2 in a row, and then its last 2 outings certainly hasn't been disgraced. Running against similar company last time, only went down just over a length. Number 1, She's a Fortress. Gee, it won well last time, very comfortably in a Fillies Mares 70. Destroyed that field, start to finish, has plenty of early gate speed, and went on to win that by 4 1/4. Expect a good run. Cop a 4 kilo penalty for that. We'll catch up a little bit there, but draw nicely in barrier 2. If you need one more, number 12, which is King's View, Muzieni. Now, this one is also drawn out a wee bit wide in barrier 10. But listen to this. I went back 3 starts ago. She ran behind She's a Fortress, who's certainly in a roll at the moment, and is going to be 8 kilos better off for only a 2-length beating. So that's certainly got to go in there, in my view. It's just the whitish draw is a bit of a concern. Race 5 on the card is up the straight of 1,200 metres. All right, we've got a nice race going on here. It's a middle stakes. It's a nice race, this one, and quite competitive. The number 6 I'm going here. This one's from Fear and Stable. It brings down the Johannesburg form. It's got Mowing aboard, top jockey. This guy has been around for a long time, raced all over the world, and it's drawn nicely in barrier 2. And I'm recommending here a little bit of an each-way bet or a nice place there. Priced up 7-1. Sister Cosmos, number 5, got Lyle Hewitson aboard. Now, he only claims 1.5 kilos now, so it'll bring it in with 56. Drawn a touch wide in barrier 9. We'll need a little bit of luck from there. Got a bit of early gate speed and expect to be right up there on the pace. Now, here's the talking horse in the race. The money's for it now into 17-10. Oodles of gate speed. Can it get across from that wide draw in barrier 11? 1-3 on the bounce. It's only had the 5 starts, and last time out, stepped up against a stronger company, showed plenty of speed, and just faded out a little bit late, but they're over the 1,200 metres. So certainly got to go in, but has the handicapper caught up with this one. Farda Bow, number 2, Anthony Del Pesh is drawn in the middle of the pack in barrier 8. It's another lightly raced horse and certainly on the up. Well-bred individual. Had 3 runs over the distance for 2 wins and a 4th. Is certainly on a roll and could be a horse with more improvement to come. Race 6 on the card is a Fillies Mares 75 handicap over the 1,950 metres. And number 6, Diamond Coast, the Irish-bred horse from the Mike Ducott stable. Certainly got to respect it here. It's lightly raced, only had the 4 starts. 1/3 time out when it went off at 5-10 favourite and won comfortably by a length and a half. Then followed up last time in a Fillies Mares 76 handicap. So similar to this company, went off at 11-2 and actually ran a very good race. Ran 3rd, only beaten a length and a half. I think there's more to come here. Now, our producer said to me this morning, number 2, Lemon Tea. He likes a little bit of this one, even though Lyle Hewitson doesn't claim 2.5 anymore. Only claims 1.5 kilos. Ridden his 40th winner already. This kid's going to be a superstar. Carries 55 kilos. 3rd run back from a rest. And it's been dropping down in the ratings. So there you go. Our producer is a big punter. He said, don't leave this out. All right, number 5 is another one. Miss T with Young Habit aboard. The apprentice takes 2.5 off, brings it in with 52 now, but is drawn out a bit wide in barrier 11. We'll need a bit of luck from there, but gee, it forms solid, never finishes too far behind. If you're looking for one more for the trifectas, well, number 12, Lily's Rush. Here's a big outsider for you from the Des Eges stable. 33-1, drawn in pole position in barrier 1. It finally cracks the draw. So last time out was drawn very wide indeed. And look, the comment from the stable is probably looking for a bit further than 1,950, but they said will be running on. So there you go, got a decent draw and might be one to include to help those trifectas pay. Race 7 on the card is a merit-rated 70 handicap, travelling over the 1,600 metres and Pav. That's how I think they pronounce it. That's right. drawn in barrier 8. 11 to 2's the price with Warren Kennedy aboard for the Anthony stable. Now 1-2 in a row, and I tell you what, since then it's put up 2 very good gallops, only beaten a neck going back 2 starts ago, and actually stayed on pretty well over the 1400 last time. Just having a look here, it's had 8 runs over this trip and has won 2 and run third on 2 occasions. So very consistent, and it looks a nice each way bet. All right, I've thrown in the 7 as well with Anthony Del Pesce aboard. Not drawn the best in barrier 11, but another horse who's holding form nicely indeed from the Dougie Campbell stable. I must say, his stable's in pretty good form at the moment, having plenty of winners. All right, trifecta time, and the Gobi, number 2 with Mowing aboard, 11 to 2. I thought was a little bit disappointing last time, but it did come from a wideish draw, 11 out of 12. So maybe give it a couple of excuses there. I thought it would run a bit closer. It was only beaten 4 lengths, but ran back in 11th. Number 9's another one, Pacini. I'm going to pop this into the trifecta. It's got oodles of gate speed, so draw 7 won't bother. It should bounce out, go straight to the fun, where it likes to run fond. I think it can stay on probably and run into the trifectas. Race 8 on the card is a merit-rated 69 handicap. Travelling over the 1600 metres, and number 4 is our first selection here at an each-way price here. Drawn nicely in barrier 4. Now, it's had a bit of a break, but I went back through its starts. When it comes back from a bit of a spell, it runs well fresh. So it's coming off a break of 94 days. So if it can reproduce one of its runs, should be there and thereabout. As I said, a very competitive race, and my second selection here is number 1, Royal Zulu Garber. Look where it's drawn out in barrier 16. You don't want to be out there, but he gets the young top-class apprentice jockey aboard, Lyle Hewitson. Now, he claims 1.5 off the back, carries 58.5. He's going to need a bit of luck from out there, but as 4-time winner against this sort of company, if it has any luck in running, could fight out the finish. Number 5, Danish Wood, another horse coming off a bit of a break, but gets the 4-kilo claim off the back now. Light galloping weight of 51.5, but gets a decent draw in barrier 2. Has had 8 days in between runs, and another one who runs pretty well fresh. All right, we needed one more, and a number 9's run going, Argyle Bay, Sean Veal, but it's going to need luck. See, they're drawn out wide, some of these horses with fair form, but you've got to go with them. No use tipping horses who've got a decent draw big, and they've got poor form. So I'm going to stick it in there at 10 to 1. Race 9 on the card is another maiden plate. We're going over the 1600 metres, and for the fillies and the mares, number 1, Overly Impressed, a 8 to 10, short price favourite here, but does look the right one. Only thing against it, I had to try and pick holes in it. It's drawn badly in barrier 9. Had the 4 starts so far, coming along the right way. Has been a little bit of a bridesmaid, but certainly well overdue. It is coming off a break, though, of 103 days. All right, if the draw catches it out, or coming off a break does, well, number 3 could be one from the Duncan Howe stable at coming off a break of 70 days. It's drawn in the middle of the pack in barrier 8, Muzieni. And I tell you what, this guy can really ride. He does well down there in KZN. And certainly one to pop in at 6 to 1. Avast number 2 is also thrown in. Now, this has found a bit of market support. Lyle Hewitson got a few decent rides today. It's firm in the market at 3 to 1, but gee, it's another one drawn out in the bush in barrier 17. Has a little bit of early gate speed, so I'm hoping he can bounce out and get a decent position. Need one more? Well, number 5, a Wild Lassie. Dylan jumps aboard this, but also drawn out in the bush, but it did show a bit of improvement when they put it over a bit of ground last time over the 14. I've got a feeling it's going to enjoy the extra 200 metres today. Yeah, I got to say, very competitive for racing down there, because a lot of the fancied horses are drawn out pretty wide, and it's going to be tough there, especially up the straight. The bias is towards the inside. Inside draws certainly help there, unless you've got plenty of early gate speed. We're going to be putting up all our selections at our Twitter account at Racing and Tips. From myself, Rod McCurdy, and all the team, we wish you a very successful punting afternoon.